on the way up right into a hammerhead, and all of a sudden the Earth looks really big in that windscreen. A Humpty Bump turnaround, spiraling on the way up, pulls the stick back, right over the top, airspeed building, roll on the way down. And all that gravity comes in really handy when you're going to do the next vertical maneuver. Into the Lomshavak, which is a tumbling maneuver. You're just sort of along for the ride in that one. Three-quarter loop, sometimes called a split S. You get it on its back and pull. Okay, if you like the hammerheads he's done, you'll love this one. He calls the fishtail hammerhead. This one's called the double outside avalanche. Not one snap, but two back to inverted, a pull to complete the loop. A very popular single-seat gyroplane. This is an experimental aircraft, but it does require a pilot's license. The Vortex is powered by a 67 horsepower liquid-cooled Rotax engine, the 582 to be specific. The aircraft is flown to 14,000 feet. Its top speed exceeds 80 miles an hour. Minimum speed is 5 to 10 miles an hour, and the rate of climb is over 900 feet per minute. The range, 100 miles on an 8.5-gallon gas tank. This aircraft, along with a number of options, can be ordered with floats even. And they're really quite a kick to fly. But if you don't want to go out and brave it on your own, you want to get some training and some lessons maybe, or maybe just play around with one to see if this is something you want to get into. There are radio-controlled airplane clubs around that have instructors. They fly you with what's called a buddy box, where you and your instructor are both on the same set of radio frequencies, so if you get the plane into a problem, the instructor can take over. Because it's pretty darn easy to turn a $3,000 airplane into a pile of sticks if you're not careful about what you're doing. And look at this bullseye maneuver. I love this one. One pilot hovers the airplane, hangs it on the prop, the other flies around, circle around him. That's pretty good. That's Dave in the center doing the torque roll with Darren flying around him. Like I say, you can get into this business for as little as less than $100. You can get into it for many thousands, depending on what you ultimately want to build up. And right there, double hammerhead, beautifully executed. Now right back to show center head to head. And they hang it on the prop literally. This is where a full-size airplane kind of loses it. These guys, because they've got more power than weight in those engines, can actually hang on the prop, then power right out of it and take off. But the part that impresses me is the controllability and how these operators can actually fly into that hover so quickly and hold it instantly. They know their flying machines well enough, and they're well enough practiced that they do these amazing stunts that a real airplane simply could not do. My airplane that I can pull it out of something like this. And then pick your moment to fly it out, just the right moment. One pulls, one pushes. There they go, belly to belly. Landing gear to landing gear. Oh, that was good. The fountain. good as it gets. And I'll tell you, this wind that's suddenly starting to pick up out here is about as squirrely as it can be. And again, you're flying those airplanes totally on visual cues. You can't feel what the airplane's telling you. You've got to stay sharp with your eyes. All right, now they've decided they're going to do some dueling torque rolls. Dave's in the hover already. Here comes Darren. All right, hanging it on the prop now. The torque of the engine is going to turn that airplane slowly around the vertical axis. They're not putting in any control forces here to make them turn. It's the torque of the engine that's accomplishing this. Of course, you see now what this breeze is doing. It's coming from behind us. And that, they say, is a...
Super Hornets min-radius turn. Watch how the aircraft swaps hands and
Is it good to just hold it down or something?
Not anymore. It's your turn. So take a seat. We're settling the final score. And why do I like so much?
also like to introduce the Rhino demonstration maintenance crew who have meticulously prepared the aircraft and ensured that all systems were safe for flight. Tireless efforts allow us to accomplish our mission. Please join the air crew in acknowledging the maintenance crew who today the flight demonstration will be possible. On behalf of the United States Navy.
9. That's enough. Get off this elevator.
It's my jam, y'all don't understand. I'ma make you understand what's pumping in my CD player. Body on like yeah. Shawty got her hands in the air. Make me wanna take it there. Here I go, yeah, that's my song. DJ bring it back, I'm in my zone. I get paid for that count them bones. Then they whop until the early morn. I need that coke when I'm up in the club. Even my Chevy that pull up on dubs. Give me that drop, get the waist like
Half Cuban turn around with rolls on the down line. Watch now for the double hammerhead. You saw Bill Cordick do it. Spencer says if Bill can do it, I can do it. Right up to the vertical. There's one. And we'll take his word that he did that second one. Lost in his own smoke. Let him clear his lungs out a little bit. Yeah, the cockpit does fill with smoke when you do something. Scott thought he was putting this car together for the drag racing industry, of which he was a part, but he discovered that air shows liked it. And look at this, Spencer is smoking Bill. Bill's got the flame and the horsepower. Bill wants to win. Now he raced the Patriots jet team on Friday and did an outstanding job. Yesterday he raced Spencer and Spencer had the edge. We'll see what happens today. Hill does not like losing. They've been talking smack at one another all weekend. Now we got bragging rights on the line here between Spencer and Bill.
You just basically squeeze off like 10, 20
We'll
shots in
see
a row.
what happens.
You
We've got
can't
a
get
300 horse engine in that airplane.
Get that car.
The 10,000 horse engine in the car. Spencer's got the advantage because he's coming downhill toward the runway. Bill is starting from a dead stop. But the acceleration rate on that car is far in excess of what Spencer's seeing. Oh, I do believe Bill Brock won that one. Bill Brock barely.
Today's exit altitude was 10,000 feet. It takes them about 50 seconds to fall before they open up. And the signal was given, and they are now tracking away. Used by our jumpers are flexible wing gliders. Constructed of lightweight ripstop nylon, they have an inherent forward airspeed of 20 miles per hour. To turn right, the jumper pulls down on the right steering toggle. To turn left, the jumper pulls down on the left steering toggle. Pretty obvious. As the jumpers near the ground, prepared more than 2,888 free fall parachute jumps. Sergeant Tony Galusha. Beautiful landing, Tony. Alabama, he's an imagery intel analyst with 855 free fall parachute jumps. Staff Sergeant Alan Brockman. Beautiful landing, ladies and gentlemen. And our last jumper from Vestal, New York. She's a chaplain's assistant and the only female member of the USASOC parachute demonstration team. She has more than 445 free fall parachute jumps. Sergeant Kelly Becker, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful landing, Kelly.
He's not flying it downhill. That plane is being subjected to the force of Mother Nature. It's called gravity. All right, a high G pull-up on our right, a wing-over maneuver, coming back, a 4-point roll, and then right into a Cuban 8. The Russians built this airplane in an attempt to dominate world aerobatic competition in the civilian arena, and they were very successful with it. And you better not Finally, the weight of the engine takes over.
A member of the Air Guard in Duluth, Minnesota. IF-16 today, piloting the Air Guard Staudacher S-300. Now airshow right maneuver, neutralizing the control stick, backing it up. There's 30, 40, 50, 60, and he'll flip-flop tail for nose at the very experiencing up to 10 positive G's in the 8-point hesitation roll. I want you all to count with me now. Nose up ever so slightly. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Rolls on the way out, 420 degrees per second. Around and around he goes. Now, right back.
There's about 10 G's. Good morning. All right. We're going to take it all the way around. We're going to try to catch this right there. We're going to get it to hang and then fly it off upside down, Tim. Then we're going to come down for a 4-point roll. How do you have it from Hillsboro?
By the sounds of it, they are indeed.
Indeed. I'm going to send it back to you, my friend.
All right, folks, what do you think so far? Lieutenant Colonel John.
Jeez. Demonstrating the F-16's awesome thrust-to-weight ratio. In a maneuver we here at Viper West proudly call the Muscle Climb!
produced 40,000 pounds. 20 years before the Wright brothers invented the toe blade, intrepid aviators like Otto Lilienthal and Octave Sinat were successfully piloting soaring aircraft. Emulating the bird's ability to use rising air current, they began manned adventure in flight. With no other launch method available, they launched their frail craft from ridges and hills. The need to launch from elevated terrain or be towed aloft has long been the nemesis of sailplanes flying, but no longer, as Bob demonstrates. Bob mounted this small jet engine on the Super Salto, allowing him to not only launch his aircraft, but to do amazing high-speed, low-level aerobatics. And remember, Bob is a rocket scientist. Affectionately known as Miss Ellie. Landing Century and True Track autopilots, as well as building replicas of the 1930s Howard Mr. Mulligan Travel Air Mystery Ship race planes. I can think of only 3 airshow pilots who flew a Beech-18 like this at air shows. 2 of them were from the state of Oregon. One of them... build this airplane intending it to be used for aerobatics, but it is certainly capable of it. Some of you will remember the legendary Bob Hoover. I know Bob flew here once or twice, and he was well known for energy management, and that's exactly what this maneuver is energy management. You see how slow Matt gets over the top of that loop. He's watching his airspeed indicator all the way through it to make sure he's got enough energy to carry him over the top. Matt learned to fly aerobatics with the hand of his dad, Bobby. He gave Matt 2 hours of aerobatic instruction. This airplane was built in 1943 by the Beechcraft Corporation at their plant in Wichita, Kansas. At that time, it was designated the AT-7C sold to the United States Army Air Corps. Spent the duration of World War II as a navigation trainer based at Houston's Ellington Army Airfield. 1945, it left the military and went to the Civilian Aeronautics Administration, which was the forerunner of today's FAA. Redesignated as C-185, airplane served with the CIA until 1949. An 8-point roll with Matt Yonkin. There's 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 8. 8 points around the axis for Matt Yonkin. Airplane went through a number of owners, but he says this one is the most special. His dad first gained notoriety on the air show in the beach in 1990, continued performing aerobatics in the beach for 15 years. Wingspan of that's tight.
Aaron.
Pulling up as knife edge as he can get. Lots of top rudder. Very. Flying to the Elephant Parade. There's Miss Ellie with Matt Yonkin at beautiful Beach D18. You got the 2 rolls first, but the maneuver isn't always where you win. It's in your turnaround. Climbing high with a hammerhead, a half roll on the way up. Who's got the edge here? All right, we've got Spencer Suderman into the hammerhead first. Bill Cornick coming in behind him, heading now into an avalanche. There goes Spencer's upright coming down the 45. All right, Bill going into the backside now, the Cuban 8, but look at Spencer. Spencer is caught up. He pulled that tighter. Bill's upright ahead of Spencer. Bill coming downhill a little bit faster, going to show center for a hammerhead with a half roll up. Going to the vertical. There's the half roll by Bill Cornick and by Spencer Suderman.
Down now at over 300 miles an hour. Bill Kearns, John Klatt, that is 600 miles an hour closure. Before going back 10 times the force of gravity, pushing them back into the seat, up over the top. Now here we go. John Klatt, a member of the Air Guard now for nearly 22 years, flying C-130s and F-16s at missions all across the world. Bill Kearns, an accomplished aviator at the age of 29, holding an airline transport pilot certificate, flying corporate as well as general aviation. Guard Extra, 2-place, certified aerobatic airplane rolling on the way, and as it crosses and show center, John Klatt in the Staudacher, 420 degrees per second rolling. Yes, I said piloting as John Klatt comes right up over the top, taunting Neil a little bit, saying, I see you, buddy boy, let's bring it out here. Let me tell you a little bit about this truck. That truck is a highly modified Chevy S10 pickup, powered by J34 jet engine, originally found in the Navy T2 Buckeye. John Klatt right off the deck, over the top of Neil Darnell. Now a little smoke. Neil lights the afterburner. That jet engine producing more than 12,000 horsepower, with speeds capable in excess of 350 miles an hour. That truck can go from 0 to 60 in experience. Neil Darnell, with the same amount of G-forces as we see him come out behind the smoke. There's John Klatt, Bill Kearns working in the background now. Neil's gonna make his way down to air show right. when Neil advances the throttle, Neil will be experiencing about 8 Gs, 8 times the force of gravity, as he lets that 12,000 horse go. Now when he gets down there, she'll have to slow down from speeds in excess of 300 miles an hour. Neil's going to... John Class inverted, smoke is on, here we go! What do you think, folks? Neil Darnell,
Full combo.
I whisper in your ear the words you want to hear. You feel the wind and it reminds you. It happens every time you stop and close your eyes. You can't deny what lives inside you. Well, I know it's hard to see, but what is meant to be when yesterday is so far behind you? Deep inside your soul. Tides take a turn, and it's not what it was before. You're on your own and going on.
1,000 feet, straight up. As his jet runs out of flying speed, he'll then fly backwards through his own smoke.
Last night I hold a little slip, and so I wish that I could stay before the thing could answer me. Well, someone, why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride? You don't know what
What you're now about to see is one of the Patriots' signature
millions of people live in this world. Maybe it's not too late.
having completed the break. Oh,
Time to wheel, things got feel.
and Patriot 2 inbound with not one, not two, but 3-year long roll. Fuller and Sticky will now pitch back. At over 400 miles per hour, Sticky's pulling up to 6 times the force of gravity.
If today was your last day, yes, but I know I'm a liar. Feeling alright in the noise and the light, but guess what?
As you can see, one of the things that truly sets us apart from others is our unique smoke system called Rojo. The Patriots' one-of-a-kind smoke system is made possible from components provided by Fry's Electronics. The Patriots jet team originated in 1999